Some dogs are born to work, some are born to entertain. The boxer was born to do both, to stand fearless in the face of danger, and then go home and make the whole family laugh. But the story does not begin in a cozy home. It begins centuries ago in the hunting fields of Europe, where bravery was not a choice, it was survival. Long before the boxer gained its modern name, its ancestors were known as the Bullenbeisser, bullbiter, a powerful, agile mastiff-type dog used by German nobles to hunt formidable prey like wild boar and bear. This was not sport for the faint-hearted. These were animals that could maim or kill a hunter in moments. So the dogs chosen for the task had to be fearless, fast, and unbelievably determined. The Bullenbeisser did not kill outright. Instead, it would leap forward, grasping the prey and holding it steady until the hunters arrived. It needed strength. It needed courage. It needed absolute trust in the humans beside it. And over time, something remarkable formed. A partnership, not one of dominance, but of reliance. Those dogs became not just hunting tools, but companions, brothers in battle, guardians at campfires, silent watchers at night. Yet as history marched on, nobility faded, hunting estates disappeared, and the dogs that once served those houses faced extinction. But destiny was not finished with them. In the late 1800s, visionary breeders in Munich saw something extraordinary in those dogs, not just physical power, but a spark of intelligence and warmth. So they began developing what would become the modern boxer, sleeker, smarter, more athletic, yet still courageous to the core. By 1895, the boxer stepped into the world as an official breed. Strong-bodied, deep-chested, with a square muzzle that seemed built to express every emotion imaginable. They were bold, but never cruel. Serious, yet somehow joyful. Disciplined, yet ready to burst suddenly into playful chaos. The world had never quite seen a dog like this. And soon, a role far greater than hunting would call their name. Because as the 20th century arrived, humanity was walking toward conflict. And the boxer, loyal, tireless, brave, would march beside it. They became messengers, medics' assistants, guardians of the wounded, companions to soldiers in moments of silence and terror alike. But even in war, one truth remained. The boxer may have been built for courage, but its heart was built for love. Behind the muscle was gentleness. Behind the strength was sensitivity. Behind the fierce loyalty was playfulness that refused to fade even in the darkest places on earth. It was this contrast, warrior and clown, guardian and childlike spirit, that turned the boxer into one of the most beloved dogs the world would ever know. And as soldiers returned home, many did not return alone. They brought with them a friend, a boxer, not as a trophy, but as family. The breed spread from Germany to the world, to Britain, to America, to every place where humans understood that courage and kindness can live inside the same heart. Today, when you look into the boxer's eyes, wide, soulful, almost human, you are looking into history. You see the hunter, the guardian, the soldier, the protector, the comedian, the friend, a life shaped by purpose, refined by loyalty. This is where the boxer's story begins, a story of strength wrapped in warmth, of bravery wrapped in joy, of a dog born to stand between danger and the people it loves, and then, once the world is safe again, roll onto its back and ask for belly rubs. Because courage does not always roar. Sometimes it wiggles, sometimes it drools, sometimes it looks up at you with deep brown eyes and says without words, "You are my world, and I will protect you with everything I am." This is the boxer, and our journey has only just begun. When the world goes dark, you learn very quickly who you can trust. For the soldiers of the early 20th century, far from home, standing in mud, smoke, and silence, one companion proved that loyalty still existed in a world tearing itself apart. That companion was the boxer. When wars broke out, this breed was chosen not for aggression, but for courage. Not for cruelty, but for heart. Their job was never simple. They served as messengers, carrying vital information through gunfire, rubble, and chaos. Silent, focused, fearless. They worked with medics, searching for the wounded who could not call for help. They guarded supply posts. They patrolled camp perimeters. They lay quietly beside soldiers who had seen too much. Through sleepless nights, a boxer never judged, never questioned, never faltered. They simply stayed. Because for a boxer, loyalty is not a command. It is instinct. There are stories, some recorded, others passed through families, of boxers refusing to leave their handler's side, even when wounded, of dogs who walked through fire just to make sure their person was not alone. And when the war finally ended, many soldiers did not return with medals. They returned with a boxer, not out of duty, but out of love, because somewhere in the horror of conflict, they had discovered that this dog was not just a working partner, it was their heart. Back home, the boxer did something extraordinary. It transformed seamlessly from a battlefield assistant into a gentle family protector. Not with severity, not with dominance, but with warmth. They watched over children as patiently as a guardian angel. They followed their people from room to room, not demanding affection, but quietly offering it. And when danger threatened, the boxer would place itself between family and fear without hesitation, not because it was trained to, but because that is who they are, brave, loyal, selfless to the core. Yet here is the paradox that makes the boxer so unforgettable. The same dog who would fearlessly defend a family could also be found rolling upside down on the carpet, snorting with joy, acting like a mischievous child who never quite grew up. A warrior with a clown's heart, a protector who laughs. The boxer did not harden with experience. It softened, it bonded, it chose love every single day. And families began to realize they weren't simply living with a dog. They were sharing life with a friend who would risk everything for the people they loved and still greet them in the morning with ridiculous enthusiasm. Because no matter what a boxer does, guarding, working, watching, there is always joy beneath it. A boxer will lean against you while you read the paper. It will place a paw on your arm as if gently reminding you that you are not alone. It will sit proudly beside children as they grow. It will remain patient with the elderly who move more slowly now. And when the home falls silent, when the day has been heavy, when words fail, the boxer simply stays near until the silence hurts less. That is their gift. Not noise, not drama, presence. A boxer fills a room not with barking, but with comfort. And yet, beneath all that gentleness, there is still the spark of the fearless hunter who once stood beside nobles in wild forests. The courage did not disappear. It simply learned compassion, which may be the highest form of strength. As the decades passed, the boxer stepped into new roles: service dogs, police assistants, therapy companions. Wherever humans struggled, in body or spirit, the boxer quietly arrived, ready to help. Not out of obligation, but because that is what loyalty does. It shows up, it stays, it protects, it heals. And perhaps the most touching truth of all is this: the boxer never sees itself as a hero. It simply sees itself as yours, your guardian, your shadow, your laughter, your strength when you forget your own. That mixture, bravery and innocence, is rare. And it is why so many people say once you've lived with a boxer, your heart is never quite the same again. For this is not a dog that brushes against your life and moves on. This is a dog that builds a lifelong bridge between its heart and yours. And once that bridge is built, it does not break. Not with time, not with distance, not even with loss. Because the boxer does not just live beside you, it lives inside your memory, inside your laughter, inside the best parts of who you become. That is the legacy of a guardian of the heart, a dog born for courage, who chose love as its greatest mission. If courage built the boxer's history, then joy built its soul. Because once the uniform comes off, once the guarding is done, once the house falls quiet and the world feels safe again, the boxer reveals its truest nature. And that nature is pure, unfiltered delight. They call the boxer a comedian in a warrior's body. And the name fits perfectly. Look at one for only a moment and you'll understand. That athletic frame, built like a champion fighter. Those powerful legs ready to spring into action. That broad, square muzzle strong enough to hold wild prey. And then, suddenly, they bounce, they wiggle. They do that famous boxer kidney bean dance, curving their whole body into a joyful crescent, as if happiness itself has taken over their muscles. This is not a dog that simply walks across a room. This is a dog that celebrates existence with every step. To a boxer, life is not just something to endure. Life is a party, and you are always invited. They chase butterflies. They pounce on toys with theatrical enthusiasm. They sprint in joyful circles for no reason at all, ears flying, eyes bright, hearts wide open. But behind the comedy lies intention. A boxer doesn't play just for itself, it plays for you. Because joy, to a boxer, is shared. It watches your reaction with those expressive, human-like eyes. And when you laugh, the boxer knows it has done its job well. There is mischief, too. A sense of humor that feels almost deliberate. Sneaking shoes, carrying pillows, standing suddenly frozen as if to say, I definitely was not doing anything wrong. They tilt their head in that thoughtful boxer way, studying you with curiosity and affection. It's as though they are constantly listening to your heart instead of your words. And perhaps, in their own way, they are. Because this is one of the most emotionally intelligent dogs in the world. A boxer senses mood like weather. If you're laughing, it brightens. If you're quiet, it softens. If you're hurting, it moves closer, gently, silently, laying its head across your lap, as if trying to hold the sadness so you don't have to. This is not coincidence. It is empathy, real, deep, unwavering. And it is wrapped, quite beautifully, inside a dog who still thinks chasing its tail is the greatest activity ever invented. The boxer personality is a series of breathtaking contrasts, strong yet tender, alert yet endlessly playful, watchful yet completely silly when the moment feels safe. They guard your home with the heart of a lion, and then attempt to sit in your lap like a 10-pound puppy who refuses to acknowledge reality. Because to a boxer, size has nothing to do with closeness. Closeness is everything. They lean against you like living gravity. They rest their head on your shoulder as if checking in. They follow you from room to room, not out of separation anxiety, but because your presence is their happy place. And yet, for all their sweetness, one truth always remains. A boxer is noble. There is a natural dignity in the way they stand, in the way they observe, in the way they protect without threat and love without hesitation. Their expression is almost human, thoughtful, emotional, aware. They live fully in every moment. Every walk is an adventure. Every cuddle is precious. Every meal is the greatest meal in the history of the universe. And every reunion, whether you've been gone 5 minutes or 5 hours, is greeted with the same explosive joy. Because to a boxer, love does not fade. It resets every single day. But there is another truth beneath all this light. Boxers are sensitive. A harsh voice can wound them deeply. They respond not to force but to partnership. They thrive on kindness, structure, and shared purpose. They don't simply want to obey, they want to understand. They look at you not as a master, but as family. And family to a boxer is sacred. Their devotion is absolute, their loyalty is unquestioned, their heart is forever open. And maybe that is why the boxer never quite grows up. Because in their soul there lives a permanent child, pure, honest, and full of wonder. They don't pretend, they don't hide emotions, they simply live truthfully, joyfully, boldly. And when you invite a boxer into your life, you do not simply gain a guardian or a companion. You gain a daily reminder that happiness is not complicated. It is a game of tug-of-war, a warm place beside someone you love, a zoom across the yard with the sun on your back, a quiet night when the house is still and the world feels safe. A boxer does not ask for wealth or status or perfection, it asks only for your heart, and in return it gives you its own, completely, unconditionally, without hesitation. A comedian? Yes. A warrior? Absolutely. But more than anything, the boxer is love in motion. And that may be the most powerful personality a dog could ever have. There are dogs who live in your house. And then there are dogs who live in your life. The boxer belongs to the second kind. Because once this dog enters your world, the rhythm of your days will never quite be the same. Morning begins with the sound of paws, soft thuds across the floor, a stretch, a yawn, a gentle nudge as if to say, "Hello, I'm glad you're still here." A boxer doesn't greet you like a servant meeting a king. It greets you like family, equal, connected, bound together by something that does not require words. In the home, the boxer becomes the quiet guardian. It lies near the doorway as children play. It patrols the garden with calm confidence, never threatening, but always aware. And if the wind blows too hard, if a shadow crosses too near, if a stranger raises a voice that feels wrong, the boxer is already there. Not barking wildly, not losing control, just standing between you and whatever may come, a living wall built from loyalty. Because to a boxer, protecting the family is not a task, it is identity. But when the danger fades, and it usually does, this warrior melts instantly back into gentleness. A boxer with children is one of the world's quiet miracles. They will endure tea parties with plastic cups. They will tolerate dress-up games with scarves and hats that make absolutely no sense. They will lie patiently as small hands explore soft fur, aware, somehow, of innocence. And when a child cries, the boxer moves closer. It rests its head in a tiny lap. It listens. It stays. Not because it knows the reason, but because it understands the feeling. There is a tenderness in this breed that runs deeper than instinct. It is empathy made flesh. For adults, life with a boxer feels like having a loyal shadow. Cooking dinner? It is there. Folding laundry? There. Reading late into the night? Still there, breathing softly at your feet. They do not hover in anxiety. They exist in companionship. A boxer does not measure love in excitement, but in proximity. Just to be near you is enough. And when the day ends, when the lights dim and the house grows quiet, the boxer curls itself into the warmth of the home as though wrapping its body around the hearts inside it. There is peace in that moment, a sense that everything important is together. But life with a boxer is not only softness, it is laughter, daily, without fail. They trip over their own paws. They skid around corners like joyful chaos wrapped in fur. They turn boredom into performance art, finding new and creative ways to make you smile even when you swore nothing could. And the look they give you when they succeed, ears perked, eyes bright, mouth open in pure delight. It says, "See, the world isn't so heavy after all. They are clowns, but never foolish. They are strong, but never harsh. They are fearless, but always kind. And as the years pass, you begin to notice something profound. The boxer does not simply share your days, it witnesses your life. It is there when relationships form, when children are born, when loved ones age, when seasons turn and memories gather like fallen leaves, through joy, through loss, through the quiet, ordinary years that shape who we become. And when you look back across that time, you realize the boxer was not just present, it was a constant, a steady heart beating beside your own, even as its muzzle grays, as energy softens into peaceful companionship. The love does not fade. It deepens. Old boxers carry a wisdom in their eyes. They know the house. They know the people. They know the history woven into every room. They have guarded. They have played. They have loved with everything they are. And they continue to do so, quietly now, but no less fiercely. They may not run as they once did, but they will still rise to follow you into another room, because where you are is home. And when that final chapter comes, as it must for all creatures blessed with a mortal heart, it arrives not as the end of a story, but as the passing of a torch, from their heart to yours. A reminder that courage does not always roar. Sometimes courage lies down beside you and falls asleep. Sometimes courage greets you at the door with too much enthusiasm. Sometimes courage is a boxer who chooses you every single day. Life with a boxer is not perfect. It is better. It is fuller, warmer, more honest. Because every moment spent with this dog is a lesson. Love boldly, protect gently, laugh often, stay close to the ones who matter, and never ever forget to dance. Like happiness itself is trying to escape through your paws. This is the boxer as a family companion, not just a pet, not just a guardian, but a living promise that no heart ever has to walk alone. History remembers many kinds of strength, the strength of armies, the strength of leaders, the strength of nations rising and falling across the turning pages of time. But there is another kind of strength, quiet, loyal, deeply human, carried not by soldiers or kings, but by a dog with warm brown eyes and a heart that refuses to break faith with the people it loves. This is the legacy of the boxer, a dog born from courage, refined through hardship, and elevated by love. Today, when you see a boxer trotting proudly beside its family, head high, tail wiggling with joy that cannot and will not be contained, you are not just seeing a pet. You are seeing centuries of devotion made flesh. You are seeing loyalty with a heartbeat. The boxer has walked beside humanity through war and peace, through sorrow and celebration. It has guarded homes, carried messages across battle lines, sat quietly beside the wounded and grieving, and made countless children laugh on warm summer days in quiet backyards all over the world. Few breeds carry such contrast, strength wrapped in gentleness, fearlessness wrapped in humor, power wrapped in love. The boxer is a reminder that the bravest hearts are often the kindest, and that the greatest protectors are those who never forget how to love freely. They do not judge. They do not discriminate. They do not remember your flaws or measure your worth. To a boxer, you are enough exactly as you are, and that is why they give themselves so completely. To live with a boxer is to witness a daily act of devotion. They wait by the door. They follow your footsteps. They sleep at your side as if their presence alone could guard you even in your dreams. And maybe in some quiet way it does, because there is comfort in knowing that whatever storms may come, there will always be a strong, joyful, unbreakable spirit standing between you and the darkness. A boxer does not run from love. It runs toward it, with full speed, with reckless enthusiasm, with everything it has. And in a world that grows increasingly complicated with every passing day, The boxer remains beautifully simple. Love fiercely, protect gently, laugh often, and stay close to the ones you choose. Across continents and cultures, they have become therapy dogs, service animals, search companions, guardians of the elderly, best friends to children who need someone who will never give up on them. They fill our homes with footfalls and laughter, and when they leave us, as all dogs eventually must, they do not truly disappear. They remain in the everyday places, on the couch where they slept, in the yard where they ran, in the memory of mornings and the echo of nights spent in quiet companionship. They leave behind not silence, but gratitude, because we know we were loved by something pure. And if love is the measure of a life well lived, then the boxer lives 1,000 lifetimes in one. Their legacy is not carved in stone or written in history books. It is written in the hearts of the people who were lucky enough to be chosen by one. Parents, children, soldiers, workers, dreamers, everyday human beings who found that the strongest companion they would ever know walked on 4 paws and smiled with its whole body. And so the boxer endures, not as a relic of the past, but as a symbol for the future. A reminder that true strength does not require cruelty, that protection does not require fear, and that joy is not something to be earned, but something to be shared. Every boxer is a living promise. I will walk beside you. I will guard your home. I will make you laugh even when you don't want to. And when the world feels heavy, I will carry more than my share of the weight. That is their nature. That is their gift. And that is why humanity has chosen them again and again and again, because the boxer reminds us of who we wish to be. Brave, gentle, faithful, joyful, honest in our love. In the end, their story is not simply a tale about a breed of dog. It is a story about devotion, about courage, about the deep, unspoken bond between 2 species who have chosen to walk through history side by side. And somewhere in that story, we discover this simple truth. We did not shape the boxer alone. The boxer shaped us too, teaching us that kindness is a form of strength, that loyalty is a form of love, and that sometimes the greatest heroes don't stand on battlefields, they sleep at the foot of the bed. This is the boxer, the brave clown, the gentle guardian, the everlasting friend. A heart wrapped in muscle, a warrior wrapped in joy, and a love that will echo long after the paws have left the floor. Forever.